Billy the Bully at Scandia. When I was growing up, I heard the same question over and over again. When will I ever have to use this? I heard it in school when teachers talked about math and history. I heard it in Sunday school when lessons about kindness and wisdom were taught. I even heard it at home when chores and responsibility came up. But in Taekwondo, the question sounded a little different. When will I ever get to use this? As a young martial artist, I imagined dramatic moments where all my training would suddenly matter. I practiced blocks, kicks, punches, and self-control for years. Sometimes I wondered if I would ever truly need any of it. Then came one unforgettable summer Saturday at Scandia. Back then, Scandia was paradise to me. It had arcade games, batting cages, mini-golf, popcorn, candy, and endless excitement. Best of all, I had chore money in my pocket, and I already knew exactly where I was headed. The whack-a-mole game. I loved that game. In my mind, I was the undefeated king of whack-a-mole. Once a month, I could practically empty the machine of its prize tickets. When I walked into the arcade that day, I rushed straight to my favorite game. Standing there already playing was a boy from school named Billy. Billy and I were not friends. Billy was having a terrible game. Every time a mole popped up, he swung wildly and missed. The more he missed, the angrier he became, and the angrier he became, the more terrible words came flying out of his mouth, those words that should stay buried deep inside your head and never come out. Finally, Billy's turn ended. He turned and saw me waiting behind him, ready to play next. Without warning, Billy raised the padded hammer and swung it down toward my head. There was no time to think. My body reacted before my mind did. Whack! I threw my arm upward in a perfect high block. The padded hammer slammed into my forearm instead of my head. It stung a little, but I was okay. Before anything else could happen, Steve, the employee with the Scandia name tag, came rushing over. "Billy, you have to leave!" he shouted. Billy stormed off angrily while I calmly stepped up to the machine. Minutes later, tickets poured out like waterfalls. I cashed them in proudly for a gel pen, popcorn, candy, and a toy propeller. I felt like a champion. But the day wasn't over. I still had money left, so I headed for the batting cages. As luck would have it, Billy was there too. And just like before, he was missing every pitch, swing after swing, miss after miss. The worse he did, the angrier he became, and once again, those ugly words filled the air. When Billy's time expired, he walked out of the cage carrying his aluminum bat. This time, he swung sideways at my head. Again, there was no time to think. Thump! My arm snapped into a middle block, stopping the bat before it could hit me. My arm hurt a little more this time, but I stayed standing. And once again, Steve appeared like some kind of arcade superhero. "Billy, leave now!" Billy stomped away furiously while I entered the batting cage. For the next 10 minutes, I hit baseball after baseball as if I were channeling Babe Ruth himself. In my imagination, a roaring crowd cheered every home run. After batting practice, I still had enough money left for one final activity, mini-golf. I grabbed my putter and green golf ball and walked to the first hole, and there was Billy. By now, his entire day seemed cursed. Every putt bounced away from the hole. Every miss made him madder. Every burst of anger brought more terrible words pouring out. Hole after hole, I quietly followed behind him through the course. Billy lost golf balls almost as fast as he lost his temper. Finally, after the 18th hole, Billy snapped. He marched straight toward me and swung his putter low at my leg. Maybe he remembered the high block from the arcade. Maybe he remembered the middle block from the batting cages. So this time he attacked low. But training prepares you for more than one situation. Without hesitation, my arm swept downward in a low block. Smack! The putter bounced harmlessly away. It hurt a little, but not enough to stop me from sinking a hole-in-one on the final green and winning a free game. As I celebrated, I noticed Steve again, standing near the front counter. He had called Billy over. A few moments later, Steve snapped a photograph of Billy and placed it near the register with a handwritten note. Billy is banned for life. Refuse service to this boy. That Saturday taught me something important. All those hours of practice had not been wasted. The high block protected my head. The middle block protected my face. The low block protected my leg. But even more importantly, Taekwondo had taught me control. I never punched Billy. I never kicked Billy. I only defended myself until help arrived. And somehow Steve, the quiet employee with the name tag, always seemed to appear at exactly the right moment, like a hidden superhero watching over the arcade. So now, whenever one of my students asks, "When will I ever get to use this, Mr. Hout?" I smile and tell them, "You never know. That's why a black belt stays ready for any situation." Preparation is never wasted. True martial artists use their training not to hurt others, but to protect themselves and others with discipline, self-control, and wisdom.